Martha is Dead is an upcoming psychological horror that has been on my radar for quite some time. However, it most recently caused quite the stir on the internet, not because of the game itself, but rather this scene right here, which is likely the scene that PlayStation has decided to censor due to its graphic nature. It is this scene that has led to a cascade of outrage about censorship, even from people who have never even heard of this game before it was censored. But hey, even bad press is good press, right? But we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about what this game actually is and why it's worth a look beyond the curiosity of what this scene is, which I will show later in the video. And a big thank you to Darth Master for allowing me to use this demo footage because I didn't have the opportunity to play this myself. Martha is Dead is a psychological thriller / horror by LKA, the creators of 2016 Town of Light. Another psychological thriller / horror. While Town of Light took place in an abandoned psychiatric asylum in Tuscany with flashbacks to the 1940s, Martha is Dead also takes place in 1940s Tuscany. They're in the same universe, it's what I'm getting at. The year is 1944 to be exact, and is at a critical time in World War II, as this is when the Allied forces were advancing from the south and creating a guerrilla line with the Nazi forces who were in retreat to Germany. The setting of Martha is Dead is sandwiched between those two forces, and they have the unfortunate experience of being thrust into the violence of war shortly before the war was over. Talk about being in the wrong place at the wrong time. In addition to the war backdrop, there is the tale of the White Lady, who is the spirit of a young woman who haunts a lake after being killed there by the man she loved, who was then hanged for the murder. Legend has it that the White Lady will come to shore to take the life of a young woman unlucky enough to cross her path. And this is where Giulia comes in, who is the protagonist of the story. When she is out taking pictures near the lake, she sees a figure floating in the water, only to discover it is her twin sister Martha. And when her parents rush in to see what all the hubbub is about, they mistakenly believe that Giulia is the one who died and that Martha is the one grieving on the shore. And since apparently Martha was the good twin who their mother actually loved and cared about, Giulia pretended to be Martha because it felt nice to finally get some TLC from dear old mom. But things are apparently about to get even deeper, because later on, Death tells the story of how it was actually Giulia's fate to die first, with Martha soon after, only for the girls to trick both Death and Fate, and Death is not too happy about it. Now, the developers took great care in crafting a game that is leaps and bounds above their work in Town of Light. It is centered on the psychological aspects of dealing with grief and war and superstition without all those pesky jump scares like you'd find in other horror games, so perhaps more existential dread. After all, there will be tarot cards in the game that likely will have an influence on how things unfold in some way. Maybe fate will have its revenge after all. LKA created a photorealistic atmosphere of 1944 Tuscany through the use of recreating historical places of the area by way of photographs, as well as personally visiting historical sites near the production studio. The development team used the many unsettling areas of quote-unquote unknown Tuscany for the more emotionally disturbing atmospheres in the game, and since people usually associate Tuscany with the beauty and the monuments, this will come as quite a shock to the system. One of the major game mechanics to provide the player some autonomy is taking photographs, which are taken with a camera from the time period that the art team painstakingly created with the use of an actual model. The camera also serves as a tie-in to the overall plot, as the twins' father is presently a general in the German army, but previously he took pictures on the front lines before gifting his camera to Giulia. The camera is so accurate to the era that in order to see the photos, you will have to develop the film as one would in 1944, as a sort of mini-game. It will be a slow and careful process, but hopefully one that will be rewarding. Additionally, through the use of standard first-person abilities such as interacting with objects, selecting dialogue, and reading relevant newspaper articles and other information to piece the story together, Giulia tries to figure out what happened to Martha, while also still pretending to be her. One of the more unique aspects of the game is that the past is told via marionettes. The puppets are created as they would be in real life, to the point where you can even hear the sound of the puppets clicking and clacking as their body parts bump around when their strings are pulled. This alone was a selling point to me. Then again, I did have my 7th birthday party at a marionette theater, so I'm partial to these sorts of things. Now, as promised, here is that controversial scene. I'll step aside and allow Darth Master to do his thing. His full video is linked in the description, and I look forward to hearing what you think about the game in the comments.
Ooh, hello. Oh no, you're gonna make me do this? Oh, what am I doing? Oh! Oh, my mouse pad is moving. Oh my, oh, we're going. What are we doing? What was her name at first? You're the new Martha now, I guess. What are we doing, Martha? Oh, don't tell me I gotta. Oh, God, what the heck? Oh my God! Yeah, rip it off, why don't you? What are we doing? What? Oh my God! Oh, what the heck?